The reviews for the Pixel 10 series have been coming out, and well, it's pretty much as I feared. I mean, I guess one way to look at it is we probably expected too much from the Pixel in one generation. I mean, since the 10th generation Pixel was coming and the TSMC manufactured Tensor chip was coming, we thought this was gonna be the ultimate Android phone, the true iPhone competitor. And I guess we expected too much. But still, I feel like they could have done more, honestly. I mean, from what I'm hearing about the Pixel 10 series, they have a TSMC manufactured Tensor chip, and the battery capacity of their phones have gotten a little bigger, but the battery life hasn't really improved all that much. It's better than the 9 series, but it's not like it's on par with the other flagship phones. It seems to be a bit better, but I guess that could just be because the increase in size of the battery. But yeah, it doesn't seem like the new Tensor chip was as power efficient as we were hoping. Now, I guess it's a bit too much to expect it to compete with the flagship Snapdragon chips. I mean, they've been making that stuff for a while now, but still, I feel like we needed to do it a little more. And honestly, maybe they might end up doing it in the next generation. I'm not so sure if they're actually focused on that stuff, because Google before, they've always been focused on the software side of the phone, giving us the best Android experience, giving us the features and all that stuff, and that stuff is there, and that's great, and that is a unique direction to move in. But there is one problem with that. This is a flagship phone with a flagship price. It's competing with the Ultra Galaxy Ultra phones and the Pro Max iPhones. And at that price point, you kind of need everything to be on par with them. You need the processing performance to be on par with them, the battery life to be on par with them, the software to be on par with them. Well, software, I feel like it is on par with them, and you need the camera to be on par with them. That's just a fact at the flagship price point. If you're paying that much money for a phone, you want to be good at everything. And the 10th generation Pixels aren't that. And the software side's good, and the battery life. Well, what else? The software is good, but the battery is okay. The processing power, it's improved, but it's still not. It's still far behind, and that's a problem. And I guess I can give a Google an excuse the fact that this is the first time using the TSMC process, and maybe next year they might be able to modify it or do whatever to make it more capable. But still, it's a bit disappointing, especially considering that this was the 10th generation. I also feel like if they could have just switched in the previous generation and then optimized it and make this generation a fantastic phone. And it isn't that. The camera also haven't been all that incredible. They're still good cameras, but they're still behind on the flagships. The other flagships. The Samsung and the iPhones, from what I'm seeing. It's not that they're bad or anything, but they're not on par with them. I mean, when you look at the iPhones and the Ultra phones and the Pro Maxes, it's very hard to put a clear winner. I mean, so one is a little better at one thing, one might be a little better at the other, but it's some a level. You could buy either phone for the camera and not feel like you made a mistake. But the Pixels, I feel like they're still behind. You know that they're behind the other phones, and that's a problem. And especially with the TSMC manufactured chip, I was expecting a lot more performance from the camera. I mean, I guess that was too much to expect from it, but still, I was expecting this to be on par. Just because the fact that this is the 10th generation, that they were going to go all in, do all the heavy lifting, all the hard work, and bring out the best Pixel ever that could truly compete with the iPhone. in terms of an Android competitor and surpass the Galaxy Ultra phone. But this isn't it, and it's honestly really disappointing. I mean, I guess the 10th generation thing was the main thing. And now I'm ranting about this, but the 10th generation phones do seem to be the phones that the Samsung and Apple really focused on and make great. I mean, the iPhone 10 when it came out, that was revolutionary. Honestly, it completely changed the game. And the S10 series when it came out, that was a step in the modern Samsung direction. They changed it up too, but the Pixels, they don't feel like they really changed anything up. It doesn't feel like the jump from the previous generation, and that's the biggest thing. When you think about the iPhone 10 versus the previous generation iPhone, the difference is huge. And when you look at the S10 series versus the S9 series, the difference again was huge. But when you look at the Pixel 10 and the Pixel 9, yeah, you don't really feel like it's that huge. And then there's the bezels. I mean, I felt like you need thinner bezels. The bezels will be like it's a bit too big for the flagship phone, especially considering that it's been a few years now since they've been using the hole punch thing. And yeah, it need to be thinner. And I don't know, it's honestly really disappointing. I'm a big fan of the Pixel, but because of the issues with the Tensor chips before, yeah, I have a big problem with that. But I'm guessing that since it's TSMC made, that the heating issues are probably going to be gone now. It won't be a big issue. I don't hear anyone saying that it's a big issue at the moment. But still, you need the performance and the battery life and the camera, and all you got is the software. And if you think hard about it, I mean, you can kind of get the same software experience on the older generation Pixels, which you can get for cheaper if there's a discounts available. I mean, they are gonna get updates. I mean, Google's promising how many years of updates. So if you think about it, you are gonna get a lot of stuff from the software side that you love for the more budget phones. And which makes me think that is there a point to upgrading to a $1,000 Pixel? I mean, feels like a bit too much, especially with the Ultra phones and the Pro Max is just throwing everything in there and just trying to get on top of each other with each generation in terms of raw performance. And I feel like there's a limit to how much you can get away with just with using with giving out great software. I mean, we're kind of reaching a plateau at the moment with smartphones in terms of everything. And Samsung and Apple, they're reaching a plateau. Well, at least Samsung's reaching a plateau on everything. The iPhone, its software could be a bit more customizable. But Google, well, they're not reaching the plateau yet because their hardware isn't there yet. And it needs to get there, and it didn't happen now. And yeah, honestly, I don't know what to say.